Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the full card of fights for UFC 321 Aspinall versus Gane. So, without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the card that I'll be predicting. So, in our first fight, we have in the women's strawweight division, we got Jacqueline Amarim versus Mizuki Inoue. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going high confidence Jacqueline Amarim to beat Mizuki Inoue. And I don't really see no way how Inoue beats Amarim. I don't see it. I feel like Inoue doesn't really have any striking, undersized, not very strong. I guess her best path to be here is because she is tough and she could probably try to endure, but she hasn't been active in a while either, so I don't really see that holding up for her either. I feel like Jacqueline Amarim should be able to run through her and get the finish as well. And I'm actually gonna say like a first round submission for Jacqueline Amarim, just run right through her, crack her on the feet, pound on the ground, and set up the submission and get her out there in the first round. So, in this one, I have Jacqueline Amarim via first round submission. Now to our next fight, we have in the flyweight division, we got Azat Maxim versus Mitch Raposo. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going Azat Maxim low confidence to beat Mitch Raposo. Raposo, he hasn't been looking bad necessarily. He's been coming out here and coming up short every single fight in the UFC. And this fight gonna be another fight like that where he's just gonna come up short. I feel like he's a solid fighter, it's just that he's just lacking those standout qualities. Like, he got a good work rate, he got good overall skills. It's like you're striking, you don't really got no great power, you're not a greatly big fighter, not particularly especially fast. It's like he don't have no really particularly standout skills. Like overall he's a decent fighter, but nothing stand out to really make him stick in the UFC and get him over to get that win in the UFC. And again, he also put good competition. So, yeah, Mitch Raposo's a solid fighter, but I just think he kind of lacked those defining characteristics to, again, make him stand out and make him stick in the UFC. Maxim looked pretty good in his last UFC fight. I forget what happened. I think he lost last UFC. Yeah, he lost, but it was very close. Could arguably win his way. So I think he'll come out here good, but I think it'll be another close fight. But I think Maxim will be able to land the heavier shots. I think his cardio will be better here this time. I think he'll be able to wrestle Raposo, land the heavier shots, and beat Raposo by decision here. So in this one, I have Azat Maxim via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the heavyweight division, we got Chris Barnett versus Hamdi Abdelwahab. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going average confidence Hamdi Abdelwahab to beat Chris Barnett. Chris Barnett really ain't got too much. He can't really strike. He's not really even big for the weight class, to be honest. He's like real small for the weight class and just has a lot of fat on him. And yeah, I think Hamdi Abdelwahab can bully him against the cage, bully him in the wrestling department. But hey, he's always Barnett's always live for the weird wrestling scramble failure to him laying on top of you and just land some ground and pound. That can always happen. Like, it's not a question, but I think Hamdi Abdelwahab should be able to go out here and look good. As good as he can, I guess, because neither of these fights are particularly anything special. And, yeah, but he should be able to go out there, use his wrestling, use his striking, corral Barnett, bully him against the cage and break him down, maybe even take him to the mat and then finish him off there. I'm looking at like I'm going to say a second round TKO for Hamdi Abdelwahab. Again, just applying the pressure with his striking, getting in close and taking away all that Barnett has, because Barnett really just got some spinning kicks and some overhands. You put him against the cage, he really ain't got nothing there. You can bully him in there, and then you can take him to the mat where you have him on the back, he has nothing there. So again, if you had distance with Barnett, you can kind of just play in that range. Yeah, you might get hit with overhand, you might get hit with spin back, but in tight he has nothing. And yeah, I think Hamdi Abdelwahab, his team should be smart enough and do have the ability to take advantage of those very wide open, very easy to see deficiencies in Barnett game and get him out of there. I'm going to say second round TKO. So in this one, I have Hamdi Abdelwahab via second round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the featherweight division, we got Jose Delgado versus Nathaniel Wood. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Nathaniel Wood to beat Jose Delgado. And yeah, Delgado just keeps coming out there and having these impressive performances, but I'm still just not sold. Like I said, he looks solid, but I gotta go with the veteran Nathaniel Wood. He's been in a lot of tough fights, beat a lot of good guys, and I just like that veteran experience here. Like maybe it's gonna be another time Delgado proves me wrong, but yeah, I just not completely sold. Like he's having these great performances, but I'm just not completely sold yet. it's not that he's fighting. Oh, it's not that him that I'm not sold on. It's like the step up in competition. Like he keeps rising to the occasion every single time. But yeah, it's another case where it's another big step up in competition. A guy like Nathaniel Wood who can strike, who can grapple, who's been a champion outside the UFC, who has fought elite fighters for like basically a decade now. Because in Cage Warrior he's fighting elite competition. UFC he's been fighting elite competition. For elite competition at bantamweight, been fighting elite competition at 45. So yeah, Delgado don't really have too much experience like that. I think Nathaniel Wood, especially also Delgado's been getting these finishes. So how would he fare when the finishes aren't materializing? And you got a guy like Nathaniel Wood who's adapting and figuring you out over the course of the fight and testing your weak areas or testing you for weak areas. And I just like the veteran experience of Nathaniel Wood here. So I'm gonna lean him ever so slightly here to get it done via the experience and be able to make those adjustments and really test this young fighter who's again new to this level, whereas Nathaniel Wood is still very much in his prime and has plenty of experience at this level, and I think he'll be able to use that to get a decision victory here. So in this one, I got Nathaniel Wood via decision. Now on to our next fight. We have in the heavyweight division, we got Walter Walker versus Louis Sutherland. And how do I feel about this right here? Is I'm going average confidence. Walter Walker to beat Louis Sutherland. Could be a high confidence, but it's heavyweight. Crazy things always happen. Like Walter Walker might try to roll and eat an uppercut or something, or roll into a knee or something, or Sutherland might fall on weird and then he break a rib or something. Like crazy things happen. It's heavyweight. And it's not like Walker's such a super technical that fighter. Like he's very much a mean fighter at point. Like he got good jiu-jitsu, but striking very much leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah, average confidence Walter Walker. Again, the confidence could be higher, but it's heavyweight, so I ain't gonna feel no need to be like, oh, this is a lot, this or that. It is what it is. If he wins, he wins, and he should win. Average is more than good enough. Yeah, Louis Sutherland, don't really see nothing particularly special about him. And I think even worse now in the UFC. I think he was taking drugs outside the UFC. That's just my speculation. Allegedly. He looked, when he was supposed to fight his last fight, he looked way less muscular than he did when you look at his fights by literally the same year, and like he didn't have the same muscle mass. But I don't know if this ice cream truck sound is coming in this audio, but I might just have to roll with it. But yeah, anywho, yeah, I think Walter Walker should be able to run through him. First round submission. Apply the pressure, do what we've been doing in these last 2-3 fights. Roll for a knee bar, get him out of there. First round. So in this one, I got Walter Walker via first round submission. Now to our next fight, we have in the lightweight division, we got Abdul Karim Al-Selwady versus Matheus Camilo. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Matheus Camilo to beat Abdul Karim Al-Selwady. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. I think both guys are real solid fighters. I think Matheus Camilo is just a much better, well, I'm going to say he's a much better fighter. It's just a matter of can his cardio hold up, can his durability. That's my name. So yeah, I will say he's a much better fighter. It's just like, is he mentally tough? Is his cardio going to fail him? He's going to make that adjustment. I think he'll be able to make the adjustments here. And then I think he'll be able to oppose his size and power on Selwady over the course of the fight and get a second round TKO. So in this one, I got Matheus Camilo via second round TKO. Now to the next fight we have in the lightweight division, we got Mateusz Rebecki versus Ludovic Klein in the lightweight division. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Ludovic Klein to beat Mateusz Rebecki. Klein has definitely shown solid takedown defense. Obviously, when they took that big step in competition, that takedown defense did not hold up. But taking a step down in competition against Rebecki, I think his takedown defense will once again hold up here. And I think Klein is the much better striker between him and Rebecki. Rebecki is tough, but his striking is very much rough and has been exploited. Even in wins, he has been exploited in the striking department. And I think Ludovic Klein will be able to address the grappling and be able to pick him apart on the feet. And I think he'll be able to put him away. I think his kicks and his speed and his power and his timing will be too much for Rebecki. And also, Rebecki does dip his head a lot, so I can see him dipping his head right into a kick or Klein timing the head dip and catching with a head kick and putting him out. Yeah, Rebecki's tough, but he definitely leaves a lot to be desired offensively and defensively on the technical aspect of it. And I think Klein can exploit those technical deficiencies that are very much present and spark him and put him out. And I'll say second round TKO. So in this one, I got Ludovic Klein via second round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, we got Ikram Eliskarov versus Jun Young Park. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going average confidence. Ikram Eliskarov to beat Jun Young Park. So we've seen Jun Young Park come up short against Andre Muniz in May man, but mainly I think Ikram Eliskarov can hold his own with Jun Young Park on the feet. Park does have underrated power, I guess. His striking is definitely not underrated. He has solid striking. That's no ifs and buts. His striking pretty solid. I'm not gonna say it's elite, but it's solid enough striking. Good fight IQ, good war-on fighter. But I think Eliskarov will be the stronger fighter here. I think he'll be the better wrestler here. I think he'll have more power here. And yeah, so I think he can mix the wrestling up. I think he goes on the feet or even finish Park on the feet. But I mainly think he'll get it done on the ground. Park has been exploited on the ground several times. But again, I think he'll do a good job early. Or good enough job early. But I think eventually Eliskarov is going to probably to land those good shots on the feet, get him to the mat, and then just overpower him and overrun him on the ground. Break him down with ground and pound transition. And get a mid to late second round submission over Jun Young Park here. So in this one, I got Ikram Eliskarov via second round submission. Now to our next fight, we have in the lightweight division, we got Nasrat Haqparast versus Quillian Salkeld. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Nasrat Haqparast to beat Quillian Salkeld. And yeah, I think both guys are solid. One thing I didn't like about Quillian Salkeld, he like a good wood-round fighter, but like he was clearly fading in his last fight. And I feel like the opponent he was, set up to beat, and he still showed a lot of stuff I didn't like in the fight, especially the fight went on. Like he looked good early, but the cardio wasn't there. The defense started to fade bad. I didn't like the way he was reacting to some punches. And again, he's green here as far as the UFC. This is like his second fight in the UFC. Whereas Haqparast, he has had those losses. He's been there with those veterans. He's been there with those elite fighters like Dan Hooker, Bobby Green, getting those elite veterans. And he had his moments where he came up short. And he'll have many more, I guess, when he will come short. But I think this time, this is Quillian Salkeld's first test at a veteran. And Nasrat Haqparast, it's his time to be the veteran here. And I think Haqparast, again, that experience is just going to be everything here. And Haqparast will be able to push the pace better for 15 minutes, having gone these 15 minutes, especially with elite competition, again, like Dan Hooker and Bobby Green and et cetera, et cetera. And, yeah, I think that's going to be it. It's going to be, I think Haqparast's going to be able to have the more consistent pace, and if not on average, the higher pace, apply that pressure and mix up, maybe even stop Salkeld late, because Salkeld was definitely fading bad in his last fight, and maybe I could see a third round TKO for Haqparast, but I'll say decision. Just overall, this more consistent pacing and eventually just overwhelming Salkeld, and again, using that veteran experience to do what needs to be done in the moments to win the rounds. So, in this one, I got Nasrat Haqparast via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the light heavyweight division, we got Alexander Rakic versus Azamat Murzakanov. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Azamat Murzakanov to beat Alexander Rakic. And yeah, Rakic is a big physical body, great talent, but yeah, he just kind of lacking that it factor. Like, he had that moment in time, but like that moment passed him. He's still good. He could definitely win here. He definitely could turn back the clock, or he could definitely find whatever he lost, or find something new to get him to that next level that he maybe was never truly at. But yeah, I gotta go Murzakanov here, mainly momentum, and I think Murzakanov, really find himself. I think he'll be able to do similar to what Ankalaev did to Rakic, similar, maybe even get the finish here. But I'll say decision, but kind of similar to where Ankalaev did. First round, kind of trying to fill him out. Rakic trying to land the big kicks and the big explosive stuff, but Murzakanov being defensively sound here, and then eventually time these overhands, time these hooks, and start to stalk and break Rakic down over the course of the fight and shut down his offense. And I can see that happening. And I've seen a pattern Rakic like slowing down in fights for different reasons, whether the counters of his opponent start to slow him down or whether it's the leg kicks. I've seen that pattern where Rakic can be a guy that come out explosive early, but he can't keep the same pace over the course of the fight. Where I see Murzakanov is a guy that, he kind of gradually grows into the fight. So I can see that where Murzakanov has just been defensively sound and filling out Rakic, and then just start to walk him down the rest of the fight and beat him by decision or knock him out. So in this one, I got Azamat Murzakanov via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the heavyweight division, we got Alexander Volkov versus Jelton Almeida. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence. I'm still deciding one, matter of fact, in my head. that's the honest truth. But I'll go low confidence Jelton Almeida to beat Volkov. I think Gane did take Volkov down like twice. And he did win one round that people, I guess, had to definitively kind of give to Gane, or at least most clear round that Gane got in that fight was probably around where I think Gane did take Volkov down. And again, I think Volkov, he did take Volkov down like twice. So if Gane is taking you down, I think Almeida can take you down. It's just a matter of Almeida, like, if he gets caught, I don't know how he's going to be taken. If Volkov's taking up and still up sharp, like, I can see Volkov surviving being underneath Almeida, but I can't see Almeida surviving getting teed off by Volkov. Like, Volkov just spends a couple takedowns and Almeida had to hold his own on the feet. But who knows? Almeida did show where he did get have issue with the grappling or getting the fight to the grappling. Like, he was able to land shots on the feet. But it's a much different story with striking with Volkov and with who he fought. Sergey, not Pavlov, but Sergey, the other Sergey. But yeah, this is definitely a big step up from him from that Sergey to this Volkov. But hey, I'll go Almeida here, and I do think Almeida does have one of the more interesting challenges for whoever becomes champion. So lean him here, but again, not with a whole lot of confidence. I think he'll be a mix in the grappling, and I'll say second round submission. And I think he'll, I guess now that he's so close to a title shot, I think he'll make the adjustments on the feet enough to be able to gain the respect of Volkov, or maybe even surprise Volkov. And then from there, that'll set up his takedowns better. And then from there, he could break him down over the course of his fight. But still, a very tough scrap. Might be stylistically his toughest matchup he has had in the UFC and in his career in general. But I think he'll be able to figure out and then get a submission in the second round. So in this one, I got Jailton Almeida via second round submission. Now to our next fight, we have in the bantamweight division, we got Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Batista. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going average confidence Umar Nurmagomedov to beat Mario Batista. So I think Mario Batista is a solid fighter, but I just think Umar is on a different level, especially seeing how Merab has continued to do his opponents and how tough the Umar fight was. I think his stocks only grow. It's not like Batista's some power puncher. It's not like Batista's such a great offensive or defensive wrestler. I think Umar pacing will be better. I think his wrestling will be a lot. But I do think Mario Batista will be tough, and I think he'll hold a good account for himself. I just think Umar is overall just the better fighter. There's definitely, nuances where Batista is better. Like, it's not like he's just completely washed out, but overall, I think, broadly speaking, I think Umar is better in every area. Wrestling, I can't really see one area where Batista's better. Submission grappling, I can't see one area where Batista's better. Striking, I can definitely say that Batista's probably the better boxer. Probably the better Muay Thai specialist. But I think Umar's fast. I think his time is better. And also he can play with the striking and the grappling, and those little kind of like almost like karate style of striking where you kind of in and out, popping it out, like, so you know if a kick coming or he's about to level change to a single or to a double or transition from a single to a double leg. Again, he can play with that a lot and cause Batista a lot of issues. And yeah, he's definitely not no patchy mix. So Umar is not gonna be there stiff to be hit in the face, not moving his head at all. He's gonna be moving, he's gonna be touching, he's gonna be quick, and he's gonna be springy. And he's going to shoot those takedowns. And he's going to get those takedowns. But I think it'll be a good scrap. I think Batista will hold a good account for himself. But I just think Umar is overall just going to overwhelm him and beat him by decision here. So in this one, I got Umar Nurmagomedov via decision. Now to our co-main event, we have in the women's strawweight division for the UFC's women's strawweight vacant championship. We got Verna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern 2. They fought before. Dern won ever so slightly. But I think this time Johnny Romo was going to make the adjustments and really go for the kill, because that's really all it was. Like, she was, holding her own and grappling with Dern. She was busting her up on the feet. It's just that at that moment in her time, she was not really. She just kept taking her foot off the gas. But this time, again, in her recent streak she's on right now, she has been keeping her foot on the gas and been doing what she needs to do to win these fights. And I think she's going to get Dern out of there in the distance this time. I think she's going to beat her, and I think she'll get there out of the distance this time. And I think it'll be a similar fight to the first fight, but this time Dern Robb is not going to step off the gas. Again, she's going to be able to address the grappling. She has this grappling skills to hold on with Dern. I think she's stronger than Dern. She's on a much better and more respectable streak than Dern. And yes, I think she'll address the grappling, brutalize her with knees to the body, knees to the face, break that nose again, elbows, and really just start to wear on Dern. And I'll say the damage will accumulate, and she'll be able to put Dern out in the third round via TKO. So in this one, I got Verna Jandiroba via third round TKO. Now to our main event, we have for well, in the UFC's heavyweight division for the undisputed UFC heavyweight championship, we got Tom Aspinall, reigning UFC champion, versus Cyril Gane, former interim champion and multiple-time UFC title challenger, but 0-2 in title shots against John Jones and Francis Ngannou, which is not really bad company at all. Like, you lost to the greatest fighter of all time in John Jones, and you lost to Francis Ngannou in a very close fight, who's probably a top 5 heavyweight of all time. So in MMA, so not bad guys to lose to. And Tom Aspinall is not yet on that, has not yet proven to be on that level, but we shall see. But as far as one, I'm going Tom Aspinall here to win, low confidence. Yeah, Cyril Gane being 0-2 in title shots is not a good look. Tom Aspinall does seem like the more well-rounded fighter on paper. Cyril Gane definitely does have the upside that he has been rounds and against elite competition. A lot of people might put that against him, but that's actually a positive. Like, we don't know how Tom Aspinall is going to look when he faces adversity. We know he got a 1-2. Good for him. Looks fast and amazing. We know he has BJJ, at least top grappling BJJ. We don't know how he'll look on the bottom. So if he can hit you with a 1-2, if he's offensive, if he's the one leading the dance on the feet, dangerous. If he's the one getting takedowns, dangerous. So we don't know how he's going to deal with adversity. Like, if Gane is able to extend him out of the first round, if Gane comes out there and is quicker than him or counters him, we don't know how Aspinall's going to face with adversity. We have seen Gane face adversity. Like, we've seen him go 5 rounds. The only guy who really, again, he's been hurt, and we've seen him rally. And we didn't need to see that from him. Did we? Maybe we would not want to see that against level competition. But anyway, I think Gane is tough. He has toughness, I guess I'm trying to say. He's not this guy that's like going to cave to adversity just against anyone, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And we don't know how that is with Aspinall. We have seen him, we got an injury against Curtis Blades and just called it quits. Other guys might have kept fighting after that. Other guys may have. We seen him get, knee barred by a mid-level guy. So we have seen Aspinall lose to not the most stellar competition. But again, those are years ago. Has not been in UFC. But where we have seen Cyril Gane dropped in UFC and then get back and win. And we have seen him lose to Ngannou. We have seen him lose to John Jones very quickly. And we've seen him go against Volkov, which a lot of people know he lost that fight, the second fight. He clearly won the first fight, but the second fight rematch, a lot of people feel like he lost that one. So, and that's the fight he's coming off. But I'm yapping a lot. But yeah, my main thing, I do have concern for Aspinall. How will he deal with adversity? So far from his career, based on his losses, I don't think he deals very well with adversity. It's Cyril Gane, if he has a great game plan, he's made adjustments. This is definitely a case where he'll adjust the grappling, extend Aspinall, and very much expose him. It might even be able to expose Aspinall even in the grappling. We could take him down and put Aspinall on the ground because we don't know how good Aspinall is off his back. We don't know how good he is defensively. Like, he is good offensive at everything, but he might be defensively trash everywhere. And I don't think looking at his striking, even in the little short fights they are, I don't think his striking defense is particularly good, to be honest. And judging by his fights, I don't think his submission grappling defense is pretty good. So Gane might be able to surprise us in the striking department, and catch him with something. And Gane might be able to catch him on the ground. Again, Aspinall is still very much open book. We have not seen him tested in these areas recently. Like in the past, we have seen him lose outside the UFC, and once in the UFC due to injury. But yeah, as far as at this level in past 5 years or so, if not more, there's really not enough tape to really make any solid judgments on him. But again, I'm going to ask him here. I think Cyril Gane is a solid challenge, and I definitely think he deserves much respect, more respect than he is getting from a lot of the MMA community. But ultimately, I got to go ask him here. I think he'll be able to hold his own on the feet with Gane, and then I think he'll mix in the grappling, drag him to the mat, and I'm going to say second round submission. I do think that Gane takes him out of the first round, but I think Aspinall eventually will be able to, in that second round, figure out his injuries, draw it out, and then be a level change and take him to the mat, and from there be able to find that submission in the second round. So in this one, I got Tom Aspinall via second round submission. And so that concludes my fight predictions for the full card of fights for UFC 321, Aspinall versus Gane. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.